options that are available to our community as well, all blended around a music mix that tells us where we've been.
Cup of Joe Radio, Fridays 4 to 6 p.m. on Rochester Free Radio, WRFZ 106.3 FM.
Hi, this is Rockin' Robert. Check my show out on Tuesdays, 8 to midnight, for fun, good times, and laughs for the functional family, that's you and me, right here on 106.3 FM WRFZ Rochester Free Radio.
Here's some good news from Rochester Free Radio.
They're back!
Alexa, play Rochester Free Radio.
Rochester Free Radio from TuneIn.
Streaming 24 hours a day. Go to our website, rochesterfreeradio.com, or directly to the TuneIn Radio app. No matter where you are, now you can enjoy WRFZ 106.3 FM. Hi, this is the real Jeff Moulton, the host of the ABC Saturday Night Oldies Party, heard right here on Rochester Free Radio every Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. It's all done in fun, and we play the hits and not such hits from the golden era of Top 40 Radio. We have special guests, and you can follow along on Facebook, and it's all courtesy of our supporters, Sound Source 161 North Drive in Rochester, and Jerry Bond, CPA. So roll up the carpet and get ready to relive the good times of rock and roll. That's Saturday nights at 8 Eastern at rochesterfreeradio.com, the TuneIn Radio app, and WRFZ 106.3 FM.
Shaking Up Rochester, share your story on our show. You will be a guest today on Shaking Up Rochester.
Good evening, Shakers. Thank you for tuning in to Shaking Up Rochester, where we are taking back the radio. We are here to give you good vibes and lively conversation. I'm your host, Larana Love, and we're going to shake things up tonight. But before we get started with tonight's show, let me first tell you about some important announcements. Now, if you'd like to keep up on the current shows and events here on Shaking Up Rochester, you can go to our Facebook page, Shaking Up Rochester 106.3 FM, and press that like and follow button to see what is shaking in Rochester. And if you'd like to be a guest on our show, please email us at shakinguprochester@gmail.com. Now, if you're out there and you're bewildered, maybe you're lost, and you're looking for a new spiritual high, the Book of Acts Church can help you with that. Church service starts on Sundays at 1 p.m. That gives you a chance to sleep in. I think if more churches did not start so early, they would get more of the younger crowd to go. It's hard having fun on a Saturday night than getting up so early. The Book of Acts Church is not your boring humdrum church. They actually pray and see miracles and healings. They do what the apostles did. They are located at 5660 West Henrietta Road, West Henrietta, New York. That's 1 p.m. on Sunday. Look for the red doors. Now, this Sunday, Frank Bowman and Bare Bones make their debut appearance on the Oneida Eagle Crest Vineyard, located in Hemlock, New York, only 30 minutes down south on the 390. We promise this is a show not to be missed. The present-day form is an electric mix of original dance music, reggae, rock, and world beat are staples in a Bare Bones set. An all-star cast including members of the Majestics, Buddhahood, and Subsoil. The fun starts at 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock. Only a $5 cover to support live music. 21 and over, please. Friendly dogs on leashes are always welcome. That's on the internet at www.purewineonline.com. Now, this weekend's Memorial Day, as you all know, the big Memorial Day parades, and we'll repeat this another time around another hour or so that you know some of them. But I'll just mention a couple of them that are big ones. The Town of Irondequoit Memorial Day Parade and Memorial Service will be on Sunday. The day will start at the Irondequoit Cemetery with a memorial service at 9 a.m. The Memorial Day Parade will start at 3 p.m., starting at Cooper Road, Titus Avenue to Town Hall. Okay, that's 3 o'clock. Okay, that's a good time to start a parade. The City of Rochester revealed the lineup of parades for the upcoming summer season, and one of those parades is the Memorial Day Parade. The parade will start at 10:30 a.m. on East Avenue and Alexander Street. As usual, you could hit two parades that day, I guess. You could go downtown at 10:30 and then go over to Irondequoit if you want to see two. And the Vietnam Veterans of America will have their Memorial Day ceremony at 1 p.m. Monday at the Great Rochester Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Highland Park. The group says the ceremony will honor men and women who have sacrificed their lives while serving United States Armed Forces. So you could do all three in one day, everybody. 10:30 downtown. Okay, go over to Highland Park there and then go down Ronnequoit. So that's a whole day adventure. Okay, well, I'd like to introduce for tonight's show. Tonight's upcoming guest will be Candace Campana. She is a musician from Ohio. And from Rochester's own Coast Guard station, Officer Matthew Riceberg will be calling in to kick off Boater Safety Week. And our favorite vineyard master Will from Eagle Crest Vineyards later in the show. But first, I welcome back a special guest, Mark Anthony, owner of Technosky Computers and host of his own podcast called The Computer Exorcist. Mark is not only here to help us kick off this Memorial Day weekend, but to show us and to tell us what the big four threats that are out there. Hey, Mark, welcome back.
Hey, thanks so much.
Oh, hi. Get right up on that microphone. You can bring
How
it up.
about
Bring
now?
it. Yeah, bring it over towards you.
How's that?
No, get right up on these microphones.
How's that?
There you go. You sound
All
good
right,
now.
Now we're close. Hey, thanks so
Yay!
much, Lorena. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great, man. I haven't seen you in so long.
It's always a blast to be here.
Yay!
I like that. It's like every 2 years or so, and then we get to see how we've grown every time we catch up.
Oh, I know. I'm just like, the story is I've been trying to get Mark to come on, but Melissa has been so busy. And then, I don't know, lost track of you. And then I was like, well, I'll just bring him on anyway. So I was like, yay, got to get you.
Yeah, she's really sweet, so send her my best.
I will.
Yeah. I am so thrilled to be here.
Yes.
Here we are.
We are. I want to tell people now if they have questions about their computers, can they ask you questions?
So here's what we're doing. So
okay.
my website is it's technosophy.com, but that's hard to spell.
Yes,
so
it is.
I have thecomputerexorcist.com.
Oh, that's a good one.
Which points you to my website.
But
So
why the name? It's hard to pronounce too.
originally Technosophy, it was based on another company that some friends of mine had.
Right.
So I made my own name for it, and it means technical wisdom.
Oh.
That's what it comes from. But I decided I'm slowly changing the name to thecomputerexorcist.com because it follows my podcast,
Right.
which is The Computer Exorcist Podcast. You can listen to it whenever you want. It's on my website, or just search in any podcast directory in the world.
Oh, so you're on like iTunes and all that too, or
Starting just this year, I started
Okay.
this podcast. Yeah, I'm on every kind of podcast directory. I spent about a day and a half, 2 days registering myself with every podcast directory in the world.
Oh wow, that must have been fun.
It was okay.
Yeah. So you're everybody can hear you all over now.
So I'm all over the place, and also want to give a shout out if I could.
Yeah.
I'm also the co-host of the Flyover Plates podcast.
Yes.
One of my high school buddies escaped Rochester and moved to the flyover states, but he misses garbage plates.
But wait, what was a flyover state?
It means anywhere that's not the coastal states.
Oh, okay.
It's the ones that you fly over and you don't care about,
Okay.
but it's really God's country where all the food is grown.
So is it like Nebraska or something?
Ohio. And so he moved to the flyover states, but he misses garbage plates. So
Okay.
his show is called Flyover Plates.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm the co-host for that, and we have a riot, and it's so much more fun than mine because I do serious technical topics.
Right.
But he and I on his show, we just make fun of Rochester, make fun of garbage plates.
So is there any other places around in the United States that have plates?
Not really.
Really?
There's like one little food truck in Oregon and maybe one place elsewhere, but really we keep saying someone out there needs to bring the garbage plate to the rest of the world.
Yeah, you would think especially Florida, like Fort Lauderdale, there's a lot of people from Rochester that live there. Nobody's opened up a plate. That's weird.
And new people as well. Like new people in Ohio and Pennsylvania, they would love that. They would eat it up.
Yeah, I find it awfully weird.
So anyway, we're having a ball, and he's everywhere as well.
Okay.
Flyover Plates podcast. So,
Oh, cool.
So I want to shout at him. But yeah, so I've been doing my podcast. I retired from local radio, and now I'm doing the podcast. And my whole goal is to explain the concepts, scams, and scandals of the IT industry, all in plain English, with a little bit of anecdotes and humor and analogies.
All right. Well, before you do that, let me give out the number in case people have a question. People, if you have a question, if you want to be on the air, That number is 585-417-5435. I'll say it again. Go grab a pen. If you want to be on the air, this is the studio hotline. That's 585-417-5435. Now, for my texters, the text number is 760-9539. I'll say it again. The text number is 760-9539. All right, Mark, tell us away.
So, my core concepts, right? I mean, there are so many zillions and zillions of concepts, and my industry thrives on chaos.
Okay.
That's how they scare you into thinking you need
yes.
all these things. Anytime you see protection or cleaning, that's actually fake. Okay? In 20, 30 years ago, virus scanners helped people, right? Bad guys in basements wrote viruses, and then virus scanners would help you, and it was simple as that.
Right.
Viruses, traditional viruses, have never, ever, ever, ever happened since 2013.
Really?
So if you have antivirus software
Right.
that you're paying for, it gives you all the side effects, right?
Okay.
Slows your machine down by 80, 90% or more.
Right.
Charges you $70 a year. Hassles you and updates and crashes and corrupts things.
Right.
But it can't protect you against any threat created after 2013.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that.
And you know what? If you really want to feel nostalgic and waste an hour of your time running a virus scan, since 2012, Microsoft Windows has had virus scan built in.
Oh, that's true, because I did notice that it will catch. It'll say, warning.
Windows Defender.
Yeah, it's on there. Yes,
So
right.
if you really want to feel nostalgic and do a virus scan for no reason at all, then go ahead and do that with the built-in one and rip out your Norton or your McAfee or whatever. Honestly, those are the first things I rip out when I go to a machine.
Okay.
I had an office today I went to, and they had a huge disaster, and I'll explain that later. It's
Okay.
called Crypto Locker. I'll explain it. But the first thing I did, I turned on one of their machines. I said, hey, look at McAfee. It's sitting there twiddling its thumbs and begging for money, but how well did it protect you against this giant disaster?
No, nothing.
So that was the deal there. I said, and that's the moment where I can finally tell people,
Right.
if they were on the fence, look, you can feel free to rip this out because it failed to protect you completely.
Now, do you have, like, some people are like, like, are they sort of unsure?
Most people are cool with it, because I'm referral only at this
Right.
point. So like, well, you helped my friend and did miracles for them, so whatever. But yeah, if they're on the fence about it, there's the moment when I say, hey, cool, yeah, you know that thing you've been paying for and that's been crippling your machine by 90%? Look what it's done here. Utterly failed to protect you at all.
Boom.
I'll tell you a funny story. I have a buddy in Niagara, and there was some situation where he was at work when he lived in Niagara, and he was looking out the window, and he saw this factory burning down.
Okay.
And they went to the neighbor's house, but the neighbor didn't have water. So the neighbor said, sorry, I got a bucket of rainwater for you, but that's it.
Right.
So that's what Norton and McAfee are. It's like, sorry, I got a bucket of rainwater, but I'm not going to help you if your thing burns down.
So, what, their creators haven't, like, updated it, or it just doesn't work, period?
It's a whole new thing.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
whole new world, all new threats. There are 4 new threats out there that no virus scanner can ever find, and most computer guys aren't aware of, right? Or
Yeah.
some of them might be half aware of it, but they have no clue how to stop them
Oh,
or
and
protect
write these
them.
down,
or
because I
prevent them.
haven't heard of them either. Okay.
So here goes.
Okay.
And this is in my book. Side note.
Is it the book that you gave me a long
Yes,
time
so
ago?
How to protect yourself from your computer.
Yes, I still have that book.
So it's
but I don't
in there.
remember.
I summarized that.
I don't
in there.
remember.
So pick
I
it up
read
again.
it, but I have now. I think did I give it to somebody? I don't know.
Hopefully, I tell people buy them for
Yeah.
everyone you know.
Right.
And it's available on my website. It's available from any bookstore in the world or any book website.
What's
in
the name of
world.
your
It's
book
called
again?
How to Protect Yourself from Your Computer.
Now I thought you were coming out with another book.
I am, and
Okay.
that's coming soon.
All
I
right.
have. I might actually do a little tips book where it's just one tip per week.
Oh, that would be
'Cause
cool.
There's so many topics now, and they're coming in so fast that
Yeah.
I'm just, all right, I got to make a little paragraph so it's easy, digestible, instead of me ranting and going on tangents. It's just, here's a paragraph.
Okay.
So that's coming soon. Anyway, ready for the 4 new threats?
Yes, I want 4 new threats.
Number 1 is legalized spyware.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Or legalized malware, right? It's
Malware,
malicious,
yes.
it's destructive, it spies on you, it invades your privacy, it begs you for money, it scares you, but
Oh, yes.
no virus scanner can accuse them of being malware because they've been legalized.
That's true, because they happened to me on Facebook. They said, "Oh, your page did something." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I didn't do anything." But then I sort of like, "Wait a minute." So I pressed the button. Then I noticed my Facebook is acting strange ever since on my phone.
That could be a zillion different things.
Yeah.
If you have a fake cleaner on your phone, that's why.
No, I don't have one.
Okay, so yeah, anything that says cleaner or cookie cleaner or cache cleaner, anything especially, and it's not just computers anymore, it's the phones as well. Anything that says cleaner will destroy the product, beg you for money,
Right.
and completely fail to protect you from anything ever. They can't, by definition.
Right.
They're just there. So legalized malware. It's not like somebody banged a gavel and declared that malware is legal.
Okay.
What happened was the bad guys realized as long as we, instead of calling it a virus, why are we going to risk going to jail? Let's just stop calling them viruses. We'll call them cleaners. It's like if you're a bank robber and you just say, hey, everyone, I'm not a bank robber, I'm a plumber. And then they let you in, right?
Okay.
It's that simple. So the bad guys, instead of hiding in basements, they got real offices, evil boardrooms, evil secretaries, evil water coolers, and evil fish tanks, and said, we're now an evil corporation making destructive, malicious products that invade your privacy, but you can't call them a virus.
Wow. This is so amazing.
So there's plenty of examples,
Yeah.
right? Plenty of examples. Anything, I mean, really, I roll Norton and McAfee and all those kind of things in with that because those are destructive. Again, they're completely fake and destructive and helpless, and they beg you for money.
Right.
But anyway, there's plenty of examples. PC Optimizer Pro, PC Cleaner, C Cleaner, you name it. Any malware bites, anything that claims to clean or protect is actually destroying your machine. And when I go to someone's house, usually their computer's horribly slow because, not because of any threats, but it's because, oh, my neighbor came over and he installed this stuff and it just got slower. So then another neighbor came over and installed more stuff and it got slower. And then I hired a computer guy and he came over and put more cleaners and scanners and stuff. And now it's so slow I can't use it. So it's a grease fire. You know a grease fire?
Adding more.
It's a grease fire. Keep adding more water and see what happens, right? And these dudes, they don't know any better, bless their hearts. 20,000 years ago, that's what you did.
Right.
You put a virus scanner or a cleaner. But anyway, the bad guys now realize if we call it a cleaner, we get away with it, right? Driver guide, driver updater, Mac keeper, Mac cleaner. I mean, and Macs are invincible to traditional viruses. But now, again, these are legalized.
Right.
So far be it from Apple or anyone else to accuse these guys. So I had these cousins a few years ago. They came over from New York City. They were having a barbecue. Great. I get to know them.
Right.
And they said, wow, you're a computer guy? Wow, we just bought a brand new iMac. It was $2,400 and it's horribly slow. And I said, do you have MacKeeper? And they said, wow, how'd you know? MacKeeper is the most hideous, destructive product ever created by human hands. Only half kidding there. And it nukes your whole system.
Wow.
It roasts your Mac, slows it down by 99%, and then tells you, oh, I'm doing system scans and cleaning. And here we are, consumers, right? We're all, you don't know any better. You're intelligent, successful people out there who are duped by the industry. So you look at it, wow, they're doing a clean, wow. And your computer's horrendously slow.
Gotcha.
The thing I do is I rip it out when I'm there, and then you never have a problem again because viruses can't happen anymore.
That's right. I do remember you talking about that before because I don't have anything on my computer.
Good.
I just use the one that's on the Microsoft, whatever that is.
And it'll never find anything, but you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So ready for number 2?
Yes.
So the new threat number 2, we'll say, is CryptoLocker, right? And they're really any order. The order doesn't matter of what I'm doing, but you know, there's 4 of them. So CryptoLocker, also known as hostageware. These can walk into any Microsoft Windows machine like a hot knife through butter. It's possible, but it's near impossible to get it on any other kind of thing. It's just a Microsoft machine, walks right in, hot knife through butter. And I had the corporate client I was at today, that's what happened to them, where something comes in and it scrambles all of your documents, all of your photos, all of your every single file in the machine is scrambled. And then it puts up a ransom note and it says, haha, we've got all your stuff and you need to give us 10 grand or 100 grand. They initially asked him for 100 grand and they bargained with him to 10 grand. And you need to go buy some Bitcoin and email it to us and then we'll give you your stuff back. Please don't pay these people.
Okay.
Don't encourage them. Don't pay the ransom. Don't ever, what do you say? Don't negotiate with a terrorist. Right? That's all it is, Lorena. And by the way, all these concepts, right? It's as old as time. It's humans abusing other humans. They're just using different tools, okay?
Gotcha. Yes.
That's all it is.
You're right about that.
These people, right, they call me up and they were all scared yesterday and I said, look, I can't guarantee anything, but let's take a look. So here's the deal with CryptoLocker. If you don't have a proper backup, you're probably screwed and you might have to pay. I mean, I recommend that you don't and just move on with life. But here's the deal. Most hospitals, governments, municipalities, right, any of this, big organizations,
Right.
they're all getting them now because the bad guys know these people are just chickens with their head cut off. They're just sitting there and they're dead in the water. And their IT jokers most of the time don't know how to protect them. Okay?
That's true.
So they're getting hundreds of thousands all day long. Okay? Here's the important part. And when I teach you this simple thing, most jokers don't understand how to do a disconnected backup. I'm one of the only computer guys in the world who sees the reality that you do a backup, right? You copy your documents and photos, maybe monthly,
Okay.
maybe every 6 months, whatever you want, right?
Now, am I backing that up to a file in my computer?
No, because
Or
it's
on-
in itself.
Okay, so
it's
I got to
like-
use a
Right, it's
USB?
like if you had a book and then you made a copy of your book, but you kept it in the same room and your house burns down.
Okay.
How does that help you?
Right. So I get a
you
USB
do
board or
You
something?
do a thumb drive or an
Okay.
external backup drive. Avoid Western Digital and SanDisk. They have no ethics. All right.
Oh, why do you say
Western
that?
Digital locks their stuff so that you can't read it, and we're protecting you, but then you can't. SanDisk puts malware in their thumb drives.
Oh, really?
And it was worse in the
boy.
old days, but anyway, just
Okay.
avoid those brands. And of course, the
SanDisk
two
and
companies merged because they realized they were both evil.
Evil!
Anyway, avoid them. So what you do is you get a backup drive, you drag and drop, okay? Just like you copy anything to a thumb drive, right?
Right.
You copy anything that's important to you. And this is something that my apprentice and I will do, and all the technicians I'm teaching, and I'll get into that later. I'm starting to teach people how to do this. But anyway.
How many gigabytes do I need?
Depends
About
on what
like
you
64.
have. If you have 1 gig of photos, you need something that's more than a gig.
Right, okay.
If you have 100 gigs, you need something that's 101 gig,
Okay.
right? I try to give myself like at least double the space or more, maybe triple the space.
Right.
So that you can grow into it. Anyway, drag and drop what's important to you. You wait till it's done. You do a proper eject, right, to safely remove. And then you disconnect it and put it in a fire safe.
Oh, okay.
But here's the key. You disconnect it. Because guess what? It's disconnected. No one's going to get you if it's disconnected, right?
Right.
Side note, same thing with passwords. You put them on a real sheet of paper and you put it in a fire safe. Because bad guys can't hack a real sheet of paper.
That's right.
Don't store them in your phone. Just put them in my phone. And then your phone falls off a cliff or Apple locks you out or whatever. It's
Right.
got to be real paper. Anyway, so you do a backup.
Okay.
You disconnect it. And then you're safe.
Yay!
So all these businesses and governments and even the client I was with today, they
Right.
had no disconnected backup because they're IT jokers in all these organizations. I call them bearded tyrants. They use 30-year-old methods, and I try to come in and enlighten them. And no, we got to do it my way because they love the gravy train. They don't want to give
Right.
up the gravy train, right? And well, I do safe virus scans, and we have to do right. 5-10 years ago, I was at a client in Arundequoit, and they got hit with the crypto locker. And I said, "What are you doing for it?" And they said, "Well, we have an IT staff full time. They were giving this lady $80,000 a year, and she
Right.
was doing a McAfee scan from 1991."
Oh, brother. What's that gotta
Retroactively,
do?
your stuff is scrambled, right? That's like
Yeah.
if your house burns down and you show up with paint. I'm gonna paint the walls. You can't.
What? Don't they like go to continuing education
No,
classes?
because no
Why not?
computer guy, even if you were trained tomorrow
Right.
morning, if you get hired by a big box store,
Yeah.
they give you 1990 knowledge. Because these dudes don't understand. You know, your doctor might keep up on the knowledge, but
Yeah.
computer guys do not
They
keep up with
should.
the knowledge in an industry that changes every 2
Correct.
weeks. Okay, so I'm actually starting something called computer exorcist training.
Yeah.
And
there
you'll
go.
check my website.
Yes.
I'm going to start doing monthly town halls. I actually have training manuals for sale. I have a local apprentice now, so he takes on all the new clients.
Oh,
so
that's
I
a
can
good
focus
idea.
on training, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the whole deal. There was about a year or two ago, I was listening to the radio. I was driving through Boston, and the guy said, we were hit with the crypto locker. It was like a Boston municipal whatever, some kind of department in the city of Boston.
Okay.
He said, we were hit with crypto locker, but we don't have to pay because our guys protected us and did proper backups. That's what the city official said.
Okay.
But it was sad because they're the only ones. All these other jokers out there are screwing the organizations that they work for and failing to protect them because they
Wow.
don't know how to do disconnected backup. And look, if you don't know how to do all this, you can also do iDrive.com. And there's a link for it. I have a little referral link on my website, and they give me $1 and whatever. But iDrive is an independent thing. You sign up for them, and they do proper backup on your machine. For you. It sends it to their cloud service, but it's a trusted cloud that you actually know what it is and you willingly sign up for it. So that's something too. But again, disconnected, proper backup. And so the clients I had today, they had like 18 years worth of their clients' information, and it was like 3,000 clients in their machine. Luckily, I was able to save them, but it was really coming down to the wire. It was really close. Anyway, so that's number 2 is the CryptoLocker hostageware. Just remember, disconnected backup. Remember, your data has to be in 2 places at once, and then you disconnect the one, right? That's it.
Okay. I gotta remember that because you know why at work, passwords and all that is nonsense. And I put a little book or whatever.
Yeah.
And now I can't find it. But I know it's in my office somewhere.
All right, look for that.
I
Yeah,
gotta
so
look
that's
for
a
that.
separate topic as passwords.
Yeah.
They have to be on real paper.
Right.
Don't ever trust, you need a Google password manager. And then Google kicks you out and deems you unworthy and deems you hate speech and you lose everything.
Right. Well, the thing is, I hate having to change my password every 90 days. It's so
and
redundant.
That's a scam too.
Yeah, it is.
If you want to talk about that for 5 seconds,
Right.
and I exposed this in my book. I predicted this in my book where they said, look, and all these guys, right, they're so uptight. You need to change your password.
Yeah.
You need to have capital letters and music notes and exclamation marks. Turns out that's an absolute scam.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who invented those rules came out just after I wrote my book exposing it, and he said, hey, you know what, guys? Yeah, turns out I was completely guessing and pulling that out of thin air, and none of that actually helps anyone. Please stop doing that.
Could you please send a memo to all the government agencies, please?
Because the jokers who work there have 8,000-year-old training and think that complex passwords help you. Listen, their thought is, well, bad guys won't be able to guess your password. All right, bad guys are lazy, and they're not sitting there guessing Lorena's password and guessing Mark's password and guessing all of your passwords out there, okay? These bad guys aren't doing that because you know what? You know what happens if you try to guess it wrong 3 times?
Yeah, it blocks you out.
It explodes, right?
Yes.
So that's absolute proof right there.
Right.
Right? That's fake and that's unnecessary.
Well, how do these guys get in then? What are they using?
Here's what they do.
What?
They walk in the back door.
Okay.
Right? It's just like in those Fast and Furious kind of movies where they walk in the car dealer and they steal the box with all the keys. They just walk in the back door of any company that's infected with Microsoft technology because it's just an easy target.
Right.
So let's say, I don't know, pretend some giant corporation, they're infected with Microsoft stuff. Bad guy dials into their server and they grab the whole list.
Oh.
Hey, we got all the passwords right now. Bad guys are lazy. They're not going to guess individual passwords.
Right.
Okay, so that's debunking another myth.
Okay.
All right. Let's keep going with the new threats here.
Okay.
The next thing is update attacks.
Oh, yes, that.
So updates come from the publisher, but they end up destroying your computer.
Yes, on my phone.
Yep, your phone and your computer. Updates, they might pretend to fix one thing. You see, even the news right now, we just heard that if any iPhone users have to update their phone right away because, and then they cite some astronomically unlikely thing that'll probably never happen. Okay, so it's like paranoia. It's exactly paranoia.
Well, can I ask you a question?
How
I'm sorry. How do you uninstall that though?
We'll talk about.
Oh yes.
So astronomically unlikely event, right? It's like if you and I stayed awake at night worrying that lightning was going to hit us or that an airplane was going to hit us. Sure, it's possible, but it's astronomically unlikely. Okay. Do we waste all of our lives worrying about it and putting on extra? What do you call it? Extra layers of coats and walking outside with bumpers on?
Because it's drained my battery. I have to go get a new battery now.
Right, but fix in a zip is where to go for batteries.
Fix it in zip?
Fix in a zip.
Fix it in a zip.
They're behind Red Lobster, Henrietta, and they're great people.
Okay.
Tell them you know me. So
I know Mark.
Yeah, anyway, so update attacks are what happens when you have a sloppy slob programmer who forgets something or needs to patch something. So they might patch that one hole, but then they break 10 more things.
Wow.
And your computer or phone is inevitably much slower. Oh, I don't know, I just bought this phone a year ago, now it's horribly slow. And these companies love it because that means you put that thing in the garbage prematurely.
Yes.
Once you turn off update attacks, your computer or phone will run for 15 years.
Oh, I have to
using
do that.
10-year-old machines. I got a 10-year-old laptop in my hand. I got a 2014 Dell on my desk at home.
Oh, Dells. That's what I have, a Dell laptop.
Dells are physically perfect.
Yes,
Dell and Lenovo are physically meant to last 15, 20 years.
Gotcha.
HP products are designed to die after a year.
Those things are crap. I tell people, don't buy an HP. Don't.
HPs will die, physically disintegrate, and also they overload their own machines with legalized spyware to destroy them prematurely.
Definitely.
Anyway, so update attacks claim to help, right? They get the hype and the paranoia and the hype and the worry and the, updates, right? But if you obey them, it will destroy your phone. Oh, and by the way, it adds extra levels of spying where the Microsoft or Apple, whoever, they go, ooh, don't mind if I do. And they add more things in there that record your behavior.
Gotcha.
So that's the whole point of update attacks. They destroy and can't protect against anything that's common.
Gotcha.
Final threat?
Final threat.
Final threat is support scams.
Oh, yes. Those are the big ones.
Okay, you get a scary message on your screen saying, Windows Defender found 10,000 Trojans and viruses, and a North Korean put a cookie up your firewall.
Yes.
Right? That's all fake. Again, you now know that viruses can never happen after 2013, right?
Okay.
But... okay, and again, it might be like astronomically rare where like one of them happened once in the past decade or whatever, but what happens all day, every day, to every consumer on this planet is you get a scary message that says, warning, you have thousands of viruses. Call Microsoft or Amazon or Apple or whatever. Call us now, right? And the other way is if you go on Google and you type in AOL tech support and you get one of these guys as well, or they just call you out of the blue. They're dialing every number one by one, right? So there's 3 ways you can get a support scam, right?
Okay.
Scary message on your screen, you doing a Google search and getting an imposter, or them just calling you out of the blue, okay? So they claim to be Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, whoever, Norton, McAfee, whatever. And then they read a paragraph off a sheet of paper that says, sir, ma'am, you have scary viruses and Trojans and cookies and North Koreans. Okay, great. And we got your hacked bank account. And once in a while, they'll even give you a tidbit, like they'll guess your bank. Or they might have one little thing about you that they found in a phone book 20 years ago, right? Don't fall for it. They're just using a little thing to make you think they're real, okay? So then they ask you if they can jump into your computer and look at your screen. Or they might tell you to just type something on your computer and you don't realize that they're doing it. Listen, nobody can ever break into your computer unless you let them.
Yay!
So if they call you and say, warning, someone got into your computer, no, that's not true. They'll convince you that they're the good guy, and then you let them into your computer, and then they destroy it.
Oh,
does that make sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense.
Right? So no one can ever break into an individual computer. It's astronomically unlikely. It might have happened once or whatever.
Right.
But the real reality is all day, every day, you get the scary message, they claim they're Microsoft, you let them into the machine, they destroy the machine, and then they ask for all your credit cards and bank accounts and ruin your life. The end.
Wow, the big scams out there, people. Well, on that note, we're going to take a little break because we're going to call our favorite musician from Ohio, Candace Campana, and we're going to find out what's going on with her since her last debut here on the show. She called here, what was it, April, was it? So we want you to hear her music a little bit before we call her. This song is called Cowboy Me. Tell us what you think about it.
So often, can your eyes even open? Have to look up, see whose hand you're holding. And you've gotten so many numbers. Can you even keep up? No, I don't think you understand the meaning of love. Cowboy, stay away. I can't take the pain you bring. You used to make my day. God, you just made my heart sing. And it's such a shame. I thought I saw your face at my best dream. One last thing before you leave. Don't you try and cowboy me. How many times did you use that line? You know the one about my eyes in the ocean. Do you realize these eyes know how to cry? It's hard to fight back, but I go with the motion.
Candace Campana, and we're calling her right now. There you are. Hey. Are you playing with your skunk?
I'm actually with my dog right now.
Oh, okay. I've been seeing all your new videos with your horse, your skunk, all your other animals on the farm there.
Oh, yes, I have plenty.
Looks like you're having a good time.
Always, always. Anytime I'm with my animals, it's always a good time.
I know she has a Mark. She has a skunk on her video. It's funny. You gotta see it.
That's cool.
We had a pet skunk too. They're really cool. People don't know they don't spray when they're young, or you can get them de-skunked. But they're really fun pets.
They're actually wonderful. People often ask me, is he more like a dog? Is he more like a cat? And my answer is he's a beautiful mix of both, because he's playful like a dog. He'll play like a dog, but he uses the litter box like a cat. So it's really a good combination.
Yes, definitely. So what have you been doing since we last talked to you, like in April, I think it was, and I remember that the guy from Korn called you afterwards.
Yes, I was just going to say, when you said what you've been up to, and I was just going to say, well, some major news that happened since we last spoke, which was so funny because we were talking about Korn in my last interview, because they're my favorite new metal band. Like, I absolutely adore Korn. I have since I was very young. And I met the guitarist, well, one of the guitarists, there's two, but Brian Welch, he calls himself Head. I met him in March, and I was actually able to give him my CD. And, you know, I'm sure he gets that all the time. You have to think how many people he's met over the years, you know. And to think, like, he'd actually take the time to listen to it, you know, I didn't know, and I wouldn't blame him either way. I'm sure he gets so many demos. But I asked him specifically to listen to the song on there called Rise that I wrote about angels, because I know he's very faithful, and I am too. So he must have listened, because this man took the time